Welcome, guys, to our patching call with the practitioners. I'm Dr. Stan. I will be your host today. We have Dr. Tim in the house. We're so glad to have him here. Dr. Don may be joining us. Dr. Jeremy may be here in just a little bit, but we're going to be talking about basically one of my favorite patches, glutathione. And we're going to deep dive a little bit into this. Tim's going to share some of his experiences with it, but we just want to remind everyone, we are a panel of doctors, but we are not your medical doctor. We do not prescribe, diagnose, treat any sickness or disease. If you're pregnant, you're nursing, if you have questions, you need to go to your medical doctor, because we're not your medical doctors. We're not offering medical advice, but we are offering you some good advice on how to be healthy and fit and live a long and healthy life. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite patches, and that's glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant of the body. I kind of call it the general, or all the research that I've read is that this patch tells all the other antioxidants to get up and get working, quit being lazy, get in line, because when the master antioxidant is alive and well and functioning well in the body, then all the other antioxidants in the body are important. And we know antioxidants are important. This is how we get our immune system to protect us from all these invaders, sicknesses and diseases, viruses, bacteria, germs, other things, cancer cells, free radicals, things of this sort. And glutathione is one of those antioxidants to help protect us against these things. You know, one of the wonderful things I love about this patch, and Jody and I have been working with people with the patches now for 3 years, and we've just seen some awesome results with people using glutathione. And we've had people that had all kinds of health challenges, from people who had long COVID, just weren't getting over the sicknesses and diseases from the shutdown, began the patching system, and they're back functioning at 100% after many years of suffering from that. So again, we're not making a medical claim, but it's amazing how that when you give your body what it needs to succeed, and this is what the patches do, just assist the body to naturally boost that glutathione levels in your body to fight disease, protect against DNA damage and oxidative stress. And it's just one of the most favorite patches I have. They tell us in clinical studies that we can increase our glutathione by 300% in 24 hours. It's just crazy what this patch can do to boost your glutathione levels naturally without drugs, no herbs, spices, no intravenous IV drips or oral pharmaceuticals or nutraceuticals. We're just harnessing the power of your body's own life force energy, because that's the way the patches work. We're just merely reflecting your body's own far infrared light heat energy back into the body at certain frequencies. It stimulates peptides, other things that tells the body to do what the patch was designed to do. And in the case of the glutathione, to raise those glutathione levels in your body so you can be a fighting disease machine, so that when those invaders are coming during the cold and the flu seasons and viruses and bugs are going around, you're going to be debugged with this awesome product. So, Dr. Tim, I'd like for you to share a little bit now about your knowledge of this patch, how it's fit in with your practice, and take it away.
Well, thank you, Dr. Stan. Yes, my name is Dr. Tim Tagg of the Tag Team. I'm a chiropractor in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and practice with my wife, Dr. Kathy. And we've been practicing about 22 years, but we implemented the Lifewave technology into our office just over a year ago. And glutathione, I know we talk about X39 and EM, but glutathione, ironically, it comes in a gold sleeve. Glutathione for gold. Whoever does the marketing in Lifewave is fantastic. But yeah, like you said, Dr. Stan, immune system, folks, especially this time of year What do they call this time of year? They call it flu season. I call it immune system boosting season. This is a great time to be on the glutathione patch because, like Dr. Stan said, it raises our glutathione levels over 300% for 24 hours. And that is unheard of in pretty much anything else I've ever studied. And, glutathione, it's also an antiviral, which is going to help assist with infections. We get all this, like all the gunk we put in our body, just everything, all the cells, they give out an exhaust, like an exhaust out of your car, and they're called free radicals. These free radicals go throughout our system, and you've probably heard the term oxidative stress. Well, we have all these pesticides, insecticides, genetically modified food, all these preservatives, EMFs going in our body, and our bodies are they're full of free radicals. Glutathione helps get rid of all that gunk, and it helps boost the immunity, and it helps boost health. And another common benefit of glutathione around the world, there's these zones called blue zones. Blue zones are concentrated areas of centenarians. Centenarians are people that live to be 100 or more. And guess what, folks? Guess what they all have in common? They all have high levels of glutathione. And it's the more I research and the more clinically I I check patients, we cannot afford to not be on glutathione because glutathione is produced in our liver. All right. Now look at the American diet. There's so many things that cause fatty liver. There's so many, our liver works nonstop. It's trying to filter out. It's trying to give us nice, clean blood and create red blood cells and all that. And it's being hammered. And guess what? That's where glutathione is produced. The way my mind is thinking physiologically, it's horrifying. So we got these super low levels of glutathione it's trying to be produced by our liver. So we have a patch here that helps to stimulate that. So on top of, and getting back to the blue zones, these people, a lot of times they don't have a lot of EMFs around them. They're eating a healthier diet. So they have a healthier liver. A healthier liver will create better supplies of glutathione. But living in the United States and all the things that our bodies come in contact with, that's where this patch comes in handy. And, for those of you that don't know what these patches are, this is like a waterproof Band-Aid. This is a glutathione patch, and they're non-transdermal. And what you do is one side is smooth, the other side is sticky. You take the paper off, you put it on your back. And what happens is your body doesn't like suck in like any type of medicine. If anybody's ever watched the military channel, you ever seen like at night, they have these infrared infrared scopes, and people show up as bright white. What this does is that infrared emitting from our body, it reflects off this technology in the middle of this patch here. And what this technology is, this is a crystal lattice, and it's made of organic amino acids, salts, sugars, and stabilized oxygen. And what happens is this is at a certain wavelength. When the infrared light reflects off this back into your body, the frequency stimulates the production of glutathione. 300%, like Dr. Stan said, for 24 hours. And it's these sleeves are really nice. There's 30 patches in here. And, we have patients come in, and usually in like this time of year, and even like kind of like in the spring up here in Michigan, there's a lot of allergies when everything starts to turn green and blossom. Allergies, and glutathione is a great patch to be on. And, especially like right now, it's going to be about candies and baked goods. We're going to be ingesting all this stuff into our body. And the glutathione is going to help get rid of the gunk, and it's going to help with longevity too. Who doesn't want longevity? I want to be that guy, and Dr. Kathy wants to be that lady that, we want to be giving a speech at a podium with sound mind and sound health at our 100th birthday. We want to be one of those centenarians. And with this is just providing another opportunity for that.
Absolutely, Dr. Tim. It's so true. This this is the season when people even begin to get brainwashed into thinking, it's the cold and flu season. The commercials are on TV. I don't watch much TV anymore. But when we used to watch TV, the cold and the flu medications, they start advertising it. Well, what if you could just not get sick and not need all those over the counter drugs or going to the hospital, with pneumonia or whatever? Again, we're not making medical claims with the patches. We're just telling you, when you boost your body's own natural energy and the glutathione levels, your body's going to be able to, I like to call glutathione, Dr. Tim, the Pac-Man. It goes in there and just eats up all the trash, detoxifies the body. And that is really key to, as you alluded to, Dr. Tim, longevity. We're not going to live long if we don't have those Pac-Men in there eating up the junk, detoxifying the body, and warding off sickness and disease. So yes, glutathione is produced in the liver is one of the questions. And if anybody has any other questions, just type them into the chat and we'll try to get to them before we end this broadcast. But
I think
yes,
Dr. Don is here, I believe.
Is he? Is he here?
Dr. Don, can you say something?
Here.
There you go.
All right, there's Dr. Don. All right, we'll give the floor to Dr. Don here and let him share for a few minutes. And then if we see any questions, we'll be glad to answer them. But Dr. Don, tell us about glutathione from your medical background.
They know that's dangerous, and they give the floor to me for a few minutes. I don't know how to stop in 3 minutes. But Dr. Tim,
we got a mute button.
That was a great dissertation, and I would add a couple things to that. Although you don't really need to know any more than what Dr. Tim said. If you know that about and what Dr. Stan said, glutathione, the master antioxidant. But one thing that I've learned as a formulator, when we formulate with glutathione, we use 500 milligrams. That's a full dosage. But the half-life of glutathione is only 7.5 minutes. What does that mean? That means when I give a glutathione, and whether you're getting it orally or IV, because a lot of people with cancer and other major diseases are getting IV glutathione, it can cost $300-400 a time and have to do it, a couple times a week. It's very expensive with other things in the IV as well. But that means you give 500 milligrams, a full dose, and in 7.5 minutes, only 250 milligrams is left in your body. At 15 minutes, there's only 125. Within an hour, it's virtually gone from your body. That's the best you can do orally or IV. So when we say clinically studied, this patch is shown, and of course, these studies are independent, double-blind, placebo-controlled. When we say that this patch can increase your own glutathione levels by 300%, that's 3 times normal. I can't achieve anywhere near that, orally or IV. MDs can't do it. I am an MD, in case you haven't seen me before. I've been doing natural alternatives for 40 years. And so this is a paradigm shift to me. And it reminds me, sometimes people, when we teach about this patching technology, which you don't have to worry about side effects or interference with over-the-counter medications or pharmaceuticals, because there's no chemicals involved in this. It's just enhancing your own liver's ability to make more glutathione, which goes down as you age, just like the master rejuvenating cells, the S word we can't use, I guess. I guess we probably could on this Zoom. But they go down with age too, 50% by the time you're 35, 90% by the time you're 65. But glutathione manufactured by the liver also does that. But here's a very important point. We all know the importance of the major antioxidants. I think of them as ACEs, vitamin A, C, E, the trace mineral selenium. Let's just talk about one of them. One of the most important, maybe the most important, is vitamin C. And vitamin C works by scavenging free radicals that Dr. Stan was talking about that cause aging. And you have to get that in your diet because you don't make vitamin C. Your dog and your cat do. I don't know why God did it that way, but you don't make vitamin C. But a vitamin C molecule, which is essential nutrient in your diet, when it gives an electron, it's no good. And that molecule can't be used again. But if you have adequate glutathione levels, glutathione works as an enzyme or a catalyst, we call it, restoring that electron back and literally boosts the effectiveness of your vitamin C. It works the same way with vitamin E. It is an amazing master. That's why we call it master antioxidant, and your body makes it. And I mean, just knowing what Dr. Tim said about the blue zones, people that live regularly to be over 100 years old have the highest level of glutathione. That made me sign up for the glutathione patch right away. And it puts a quiver in your liver. That's what I tell people. And the liver is also known for the detoxification cascade, the SOD, superoxide dismutase, the #1 detoxifying enzyme system in the body. And you're facing over 5,000 different toxic chemicals in the food you eat, air you breathe, water you drink. I don't care if you live in the woods in Montana, they're still out there. So you need glutathione. I could go on and on, but I guess I'll stop there, Dr. Stan.
Well, Dr. Don, that was really awesome. We have a couple of questions. I'll answer one as far as how to use it. Some people have different recommendations for glutathione. Any of our patches, #1, would be safe to be used every day because, again, it's non-transdermal. There's nothing that's going to interfere or hurt you by wearing this technology on your body. Glutathione, especially during this season, I would recommend to wear it every day just to keep your immune system boosted, and at full maximum capacity. You can use it as a maintenance product. We know people that use it 3 times a week for maintenance purposes. Some people will use it 5 days a week. There's no right or wrong. I don't believe there's any right or wrong answer, but I do know one thing. If you are, around a lot of sick people, you're working, you're being exposed every day, then, it might be a good idea to wear it. The other thing, too, that we've had good luck with is, and Dr. Tim, Dr. Don, you can add, is that I know when people have sore throats or infections, we wear 2, 3, or 4 around the infected area to kind of give it a little bit of a boost. So, again, there's no right or wrong way. It's perfectly safe. And do you guys have anything you want to add to that?
I would say there's nothing wrong with adding more patches, but David Schmidt told me it's only going to give you about a 10% boost. So in my opinion, It's not cost effective. I would rather, for example, if I'm using glutathione, instead of using it 2 patches, I would use a patch every day or every other day. If you're trying, we're all trying to be cost conscious, of course, and we don't want to spend all kinds of money on patches that we don't need to. So to me, I've studied this so much. When I started using it, I started like everyone else, X39 and Eon. That's all I was using. And I got my tremendous results in 9 to 12 months with just those. But I quickly added glutathione when I studied it. And I started out every other day. And I was wearing carnosine the opposite day, which is a fine thing to do for maintenance. But when I study these patches, I see the value, and I'll tell you, I'm not missing a day of glutathione until Jesus comes back. For $2 a day, that's what I'm doing. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah. Dr. Tim, you have any other comments on usage?
Yeah, I would. It's like I'm always nerding out on research, and I start digging deep, and I start learning that we actually, our body inside and out has more viruses than cells. So when it comes to like this time of year and like in the spring, and so we have this balance, and I think the glutathione, what it does is it helps to balance those viruses. And I've even read some articles about if you took away all of our cells, our human body cells, you could still tell that it's me from all the viruses that we have inside and out. So patching up with glutathione is going to help that viral balance. I think I might be getting a little too deep here.
No, I don't think so. I think to me, detoxification, which when I think of glutathione, I think of liver support and detoxification. And Dr. Stan, you've heard me say this many times. I don't know if you have, Dr. Tin, but The health equation is two areas that if we help you reach your goals in those areas, you'll not only get healthy, turn things around, but you'll prevent most sickness and disease. That is detoxification on one hand and balancing the immune system on the other. When you detoxify your body, you do support the immune system. That's why it's so powerful against viruses. If your body's concentrating on all these toxins, which they're there, 5,000 of them every day in the food you eat, water you drink, the air you breathe, if you're concentrating on all that and you're not having a strong liver and strong glutathione to remove those things and strong antioxidants, your immune system can't concentrate on staying strong against virus. It's not, this exposure idea of disease is old time thinking. It's not
Amen.
what you're exposed to. We are exposed to, as you said, if viruses, you got more viruses in you than you do cells. We're all exposed to pathogenic virus, fungus, bacteria, parasites every day that could lethally kill someone if the immune system isn't functioning properly. So it's not exposure. It's the condition of the host. That's what people need to know. So how do I take care of that? I'm glad you asked. Make sure you have enough antioxidants. Glutathione's the master one, but I'd recommend you learn to relax, get to bed on time, and do your exercise. Breathe fresh air when the sun's out there, and eat like this: little ripe fruits and vegetables, whole grains, white if you choose meat. Drink what you're mostly made of. Water makes your health complete. Those are the foundations of health. And this patch is not a replacement for any of that. You still get to do all those things, but it's another tool. It's a powerful tool, more powerful than taking glutathione, which, as you know now, the powers that be out there, quote unquote, are putting the heat on things like N-acetylcysteine, which is the precursor for glutathione. They're trying to keep it from us. Well, we don't care about that with this. You're making your own and no side effects. It's just a paradigm shift in really health care, not disease care, poisoning yourself to health, which there's usually natural alternatives for. This is health care.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. I'll answer one last question and we'll get ready to close it out. Is it safe to use on children? Number one, we haven't done any clinical studies on children, so we can't say there was any studies that would say it's okay, but it's a personal choice. And most people that I know that have children, they choose to personally patch their children. So it's a personal choice. Again, if it's a medical issue, you need to contact your medical doctor, because we're not here to prescribe, diagnose, treat, or tell you that anything is medically okay. But from a personal standpoint, I would patch my children and wouldn't think twice about it. And just thought of one more thing, and I've heard David Smith talk about this with our patch. And I accidentally, when we first started out, sent someone the X39 and the glutathione, because Jody, I think, was telling me, you need to send the Eon. Well, I sent the glutathione. She had knee problems. And this patching system, we know most of y'all know about Icewave. If you don't, we'll talk about that in a future podcast. But glutathione put around the areas that are injured and are inflamed, can help with pain control. And we have had people successfully use the X39 Eon glutathione along with the Icewave for not just pain management, but for reducing the inflammation and removing the pain cycle in the injured areas. So that's just another thing. If you are experiencing pain, you might want to consider, in addition to 39 Eon Icewave, adding the glutathione, because we had a professional bodybuilder. She was just using those two patches, and she had like a 24, she was like one of those one patch wonders. Within 24 hours, her knee pain was gone, and she was walking on her two legs where she was hobbling around on the floor. So guys, thank you so much. Y'all had so many good things to say today. We're coming down to the end here. I don't see any other major questions. I think we've answered most everything in general that we can answer. We can't answer every question, but I think in general, I think Dr. Tim, Dr. Don, you guys did an excellent job of explaining why we probably ought to get this glutathione patch on our body and wear it at least 3 times a week, if not more, to protect yourself against all those things that Dr. Tim mentioned. We're just being, Dr. Don, we're being bombarded every day, externally, internally, and in every way. And our technology will indeed help people to live long and prosper, which I believe that's what God, I think God said that too, you know, beloved, I wish above everything in regards to everything that you would prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers.
Can I make a quick comment on what you said there at the end, Dr.
Sure.
Inflammation and how the glutathione helps with inflammation. There is tremendous overlap in the patches, no question, and that's a good thing. The X39 literally can do everything any other patch can do. It's just going to take a lot longer. The X39 is anti-inflammatory. The X39 supports the liver making glutathione. Well, wow, then why do I'll just wear X39? Because it takes a lot longer. And when you talked about the inflammatory response, free radicals cause damage that causes aging, and that's the definition, one of them, of inflammation. So when you quench free radicals, you bring inflammation down. So if even someone doesn't know about the specific EON patch, which is the super anti-inflammatory, they can get those kind of results with both glutathione and X39. But for me, my body is my earth suit, like everyone on this call. It's only going to last as long as you get to stay here as long as it lasts. So for $7 a day, 3 for the X39, 2 for the glutathione, and 2 for the EON, I'm worth that. I would rather fast a meal a day and wear those patches, and I'd highly recommend that for you too. So don't let that money part of it stand in the way. That's not logical thinking. This is the reverse aging science of the future. I believe it's preventative medicine. You said correctly, Dr. Stan, we don't make medical claims and we're not diagnosing or treating sickness and disease, but I will give a warning. I'll warn you, you should probably consult your doctor if you're not going to start patching. You probably will have to consult your doctor a lot more, because it's a way to keep your body doing what it's been doing all your life, but it's not doing it as efficiently. That's what makes it natural. That's what gets me excited about being a patching practitioner, Dr. Stan.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Don. And I'm going to answer these 2 questions. We're going to close it, but it said, can you have too much glutathione in your body? Number one, our patches are not putting anything into the body. So it's not like you're taking a pill or putting a potion on your body or doing an IV drip. So there's no danger that your body's going to do anything to harm itself with this technology, number one. And if you do break out in a rash, it could be that you're just detoxifying. We don't have time to get into everything, but be sure you're drinking at least 8 to 10 glasses of water to assist the body to flush out the toxins that our technology is helping you to get rid of. Very important to do that, but some people sometimes have to use it once every 2 or 3 days, until your body can adjust to the detoxification process. So it's normal. It's a good thing when you begin to detoxify. That's a good thing, but if it goes too fast, it can kind of be a bad thing, and we have to kind of slow it down by doing less patching, drinking more water, and working with your body, as Dr. Don said, exercise and diet, putting the whole package together. You're going to see such a big difference. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and close it out. We're here at 30-minute mark pretty much. Thank you, doctors, for being on the panel today. Your information was awesome, and I'm sure everybody will benefit from this educational podcast. So with that, God bless, and we'll see you on the next podcast.